Hi there, my name's Jason Williams, and in this video I'm making a new gate, some new gates, because this is rear access to my property. And I don't know if you can tell, you can see from there that I've not got much room between the mirrors and the posts, so I'm going to have to extend this and remake it, replace it, do a few things, and yeah, make it nice and neat. And I'm gonna. The reason I'm doing it is because I ran out of talent one day, because I back trailers in and out of here, and I ran out of talent one day when I was driving the Fortuner, and I clipped the mirror and broke it. I'm going to show you that damage now. So this is the side of my nice new Fortuner that I bought, probably nearly 2 years ago, so it's 2 years old, I suppose. But this mirror hasn't done much damage. You can just see, if I get in nice and close here, I've clipped the indicator. Everything works, still folds, still does everything it's meant to do. But I'm not happy with that. That's kind of broken. I don't like that much. All right, time to build some gates to rectify this issue. All right, so first point of call is I've loosened off all these sheets of it's not asbestos, it's concrete, whatever it is, I can't remember. The other fence over there is asbestos, but oh well, that's not what I'm dealing with at all. And I'm going to straighten this, because this is on quite a lean. I need to come out a fair bit, so here goes nothing. See if this works. So needs to go a bit more. That's certainly a whole lot better, but I need to go more than that. And even more again, my goodness. Car's moving, unfortunately. Experience has told me to go a bit more than you think. Don't go over that brick. Take two. Well, that looks much more convincing.
Yeah, mate. To stop it wanting to spring back.
Alright, did it spring all the way back? Doesn't look like it did too much. It did a bit. I wonder if I should pull on it again. Yep, it's gone a bit further. Alright. That's a hell of a lot of force going on there. Got quite a bit further over. I reckon that'll do. Possibly. I'll see how. Oh, they didn't spring back as far. That's not bad. That's pretty close. That's all that. That's it. That's all that's getting. Alright, so I've decided the length of the gate is going to be 2950 long. So the first mark I make is that 2950. Right there. And then that gives me the opportunity now to make my 90-degree cut, or my I don't even know what to call it. So if that's at there, we're calling that our 2950, and I want to bend the piece of steel this way or that way, whichever, it doesn't really matter. But so here I'll go from the very top corner of that on my 45, and on my 45 again up that way. I get them absolutely perfect. Spot on. Try to keep these absolutely perfect. Oh, and by the way, I'm using an 8 metre length of this patio tubing because I have some 8 metre lengths, and it's not going to quite be long enough, but it'll get close. That's the sections I'm going to cut out. Alright, and the height of the gate is 1500, 1.5 metres. So I've got a magnet holding the other end of the tape, and I've got my 1500 that'll be here. All the cuts for the bends are on the same side, so the 45-degree angle will better do the 90-degree up along the top first, and 45 out that way, and 45 out that way. The first section I cut is the bottom section. This next section is the front, like the upright of the gate, and this will be the top. So this has to be 2950 like the bottom. So since this is 8 metre string of steel, and the gate is 2950 long, 15 high, you know, it doesn't take you long to add that up and realise 8 metres is too short. Yes, and that's okay. I'll add a piece in. Now to bend all this and get it right, I'll have to be on the floor. And so I drop it off the sawhorses like you see here, wrap it around, pop it in place, measure it to get it, you know, to get my 1.5s, and work out those 830 mil that I was going to need from there. I tack it in place with a square, get my saw, cut the 830 mil piece of steel, and prop it in there, and again, you know, straighten it up and start tacking it with a weld. Once I've measured it and got everything spot on, I'll just tack it in place and hoping to get everything square. I then put it back up on the saw horses all nice and square and continue to weld it out. And you'll see the flashes welders. I'm doing a lot of pulse welding here as I was trialling something with the solar system. Alright, with it welded, the frame, the outside frame, I've put a strut there and set it on top. What I'm going to do now is mark this so I can cut that, and that can be the brace for the gate. And I'll show you a little more as I go. Sweet! This now I'm beginning to tack the brace in place on the ground so that I can keep everything flush and straight. And once I've finished tacking it in, I start, you know, prop it up on the sawhorses like this, and then begin welding it out, which is the exciting part. Alright, gate frame is made. Now, something I want to go over is the outside frame is stitched together as one string of steel, even though the 8 metre length didn't quite make it, and there was an 830 mil section welded in here. And what I want to show you is that at the bottom, this is where it's going to hinge from. There's a that's open, and there's a little hole you might see drilled in this top section. So as temperature changes and it sweats because everything needs to breathe, steel and timber. And so if that can breathe, that'll stop moisture building up or rain getting through a pinhole in a weld, and rusting it out. So that's that. So that's that section. Also, the next part I want to talk about quickly is the brace. You'll see how it's if we pretend, or we understand that section here is where it's going to hinge off the post, and this is going to be freestanding end. So the brace comes up here to the top on the far end, because all the weight of the gate is actually going to be right here pushing down. And if you have something that can transfer the weight, holding it, because this is cut to size, fits neatly, welded in, and transfers all the way to the bottom, that's where the strongest part of the gate is, and that's where there'll be a hinge, and that'll keep it as strong as possible. All right, time to hang this sucker. With that tacked on, now it's time to test open it. Alright, so that's about spot on for this section, and what I'll talk to you quickly about here is I've spaced them accordingly so I get a level one, so that it opens gently and there's no resistance. But what I want to talk to you about quickly is this bracket down here. So the hinge is locked in from the top, so you lift it up and put it in, sort of thing. But this one is in the reverse, going up, because the weight on this is down caught on that, but on this one you're catching and holding it from falling away. The reason I don't have it up the same way, I have a left hand and a right hand hinge, is so that you can't just come along and lift the hinges off the lift the gate off the hinges and just get straight in. This is I don't know, something I like doing. All right, I think I can weld it out now. Right, and with it welded in thoroughly, I can sand it back with the orbital sander just to spot parts that needed sanding, and then paint only the places on the gate that looks like the metal may have been exposed. And this I do, and thoroughly, hopefully it doesn't rust. So as you see, I've sheeted this first gate that I hung and welded on, and I just sheeted one side of it. I haven't done too much. It's a long way from finished, but that fence, that's looking pretty crappy. I'm just chaining it to that post for now. If we come out the gate and we look here, whoops, being that the wind's blowing that around, it's a bit windy this morning. This post here, I'm going to remove that post and this section of fence only till this post, and that's where I'm going to hang the second gate, because you might see that gate and go, oh, what, yeah, you've done. No, I wouldn't have achieved anything if I did this, apart from a view block, because it's no wider. So that bit is now coming out. All right, let's make it happen. Oh, and I've already made the frame for the other gate, didn't record it, because I recorded doing this one. It's basically the same process, only smaller. All right, let's pull that fence out. And so now I begin removing all the bolts to start removing these sheets of Super 6, as I found out what it's called. Apparently it's got a little bit of asbestos in it. So here you see me getting it out of the way. I cut these bits of steel out to get, this is because they've got to come out regardless, just on this section mainly. And then I shovel around, as you see here, and I get this quick cut saw. It's a little 2-stroke Makita quick cut saw that I've had for many years, and cut the post off, pop it out the way, clean it off at the bottom, and get the winch out on the Land Cruiser and start straightening these other 2 poles. As you see me shuffling the Land Cruiser, and now you see me using wheel chocks, which was a whole lot better than bits of wood, and just using the winch to pull them and get them in place, straighten them up. Alright, the gate's there, and I've not tacked it on, it's clamped in, ready to go. Job now, tack it in. Let's make it happen. And so now I'm tacking it in. Tack the bottom in first. Not that it's really relevant, but then tack the top in, and the exciting part, I start welding them out. And then I did test this gate, but I welded it all in place, tested it out, and that gets me pretty much to the next step where I'm at. Alright, so as you see, the gates are finished. They're not finished. There's quite a bit more to go. And down the bottom here, if I zoom right in, that's where I cut that post off and welded another piece of off-cutter patio tubing on there, and welded on and made a little foot plate for the drop locks to go in. And you'll see I've knocked this fence over, or out. I've taken it out, and I've now got to tack these, or weld this piece of patio tubing in, and and then sheet this. Cool. And directly taking me to the section where I start welding the patio tubing in that I've cut and fitted in this section, so that I can stop the post from leaning away once I cut the next section, which I'm about to cut right now. And just using the angle grinder, because now that the post is supported, I just chop this section out and pull it out. And that allowed me to now start attaching the tin to the outside. And since I'm doing most of this on my own, and all of it, you'll see that I use these quick grip clamps constantly, like all the time I'm using them. And they hold things in place while I screw it in. I have to cut sections of bits of tin every so often, especially on the outside here, because the posts protrude on the outside of it, and I'm attaching tin to this side as well as the inside, but the inside I don't have a problem with a post in the way. And after marking it with a straight edge and a pen like I did, I screw it in and attach these sheets on. It was quite satisfying. I then began sheeting the second gate from the inside, so it'll be attached to both sides. And again, these sheets of tin are so filthy. I'm so glad that I'm about to start washing them. You'll see me attaching this sheet on this last sheet, and from here I begin washing them. And this was a incredibly satisfying part of this project. I don't like washing. It's like washing dishes. I don't really like doing it, but it has to be done. And so I got out and got a sponge and some water. No dishwashing liquid or anything, just a sponge and water. And just washed it down. And I couldn't believe how quickly all the tin started to look new again. And it was just a bit of stained dirt from where this tin was laying down, and got a bit of dirt on it. But it didn't rust, or it didn't fade. It was quite good. I even washed the inside of the sheets of tin, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to actually put extra sheets on the inside, and but I did, as you'll see. But I went ahead and I washed even the outside, made the outside look all pretty. I was so glad to get rid of those ugly, filthy, dirty marks that were on it, and began sheeting the inside, as you see here. This is the final part of sheeting the tin that I need to do on these gates, or for this project. It was a gate and a fence, wasn't it? And so I continue whack him in. You know, it was simple. It was a little bit fiddly, but I got there in the end. Just, you know, piece by piece, as you see me do here, and this, you know, using a time lapse, the camera on time lapse to record this. You know, it makes it look really easy. You know, I wish things were this quick in real life. This would be amazing. I could get so much more done. But either way. Alright, very nice fence so far. All trim deck along the way. I had to buy a couple of more bits to finish it off. And because I had a lot of spares. And I've made the chain and the lock here, which is all quite nice. Just using my padlock. There's a little foot plate down there, and I walk through and I am double lined both sides. You can see the posts from this side, but you can't, like, there's nothing to step up on or anything, and the gate's open obviously, but you'd think, all right, is that all? Is that all it's going to be? Well, the answer is no, that's not quite good enough. I'm not finished. I'm not going to leave it there like that, because I've got all this topping to put on, and I'm going to fit that now. I've got to cut it all to size, and then I'll fit it. So here I start to attach the topping, which is kind of cool. The gate is a little bit longer than a standard piece is, so I had to improvise and make a little piece to join in between, which could do with me stiffening up a bit more later, but for the meantime it actually worked quite well. As you know, I see, like, I've never done this before, so I'm just sort of trial and error, you know, screwing a bit in, having a bit of a play here. I was drilling holes and pot riveting in the top so that I could hopefully get the clamp, or, you know, get it to hold like I wanted it to. And from here, as the battery went flat in the time-lapse camera, it's sort of got me to the point where I'm just doing the finishing touches, putting the capping on and measuring out this hole so I could cut an extra 100 mil out, as it was a little bit difficult to reach in and grab the drop lock. But after I cut it out, you know, it was quite good. They were all cut out, and I started fitting. This is automotive pinch steel that I had left over from a previous job from something else, and the shed actually, as when I built the shed, and this is so it doesn't chafe on my arm as I reach through and grab the lock. And so I did on both sides, obviously inside and out, you know, so there's no burrs to catch on, and I put the screws in after this, and that was pretty much it. That was, you know, this is it. This is the end of the project. All right, what do you know? It is done. I've just done all the finishings on it. It's, you know, it's one side of this fence, obviously not done up there because for other reasons. And yeah, I can reach the lock now better since I cut 100 mil out of this area here, so I could comfortably reach the drop lock when I unlock it. And so it looks like from the other side, so both sides are a bit overdone, but oh well. Hey, I have never built a residential fence before in my life. This is the first time. So yes. Alright, thank you so much for watching me build this crazy looking fence. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully, you know, I'll see you in the next one, or you see me, however it works. And yeah, Thank you very much. Cheers.